Nancy Cart. I'm currently a visiting fellow of All Souls College at Oxford, and I'm writing a book about women and authority. But here I want to talk about men listening to women, and I'm going to start with an experiment. Okay, think about the book that you're currently reading, or the book that you read most recently, and put your hand up if it was written by a woman. Great. Now, if you're a woman, put your hands down. Keep them up if you're a man. Okay, well, I salute you guys. You're actually quite unusual, because on average, we women will read about 50-50 books written by men and books written by women. Guys will read about 80% books written by men and only 20% books written by women. Now, Esquire actually produced a list of the 80 best books every man should read. They described it as the greatest works of literature ever published. Guess how many were written by a woman? One. And she had a gender-neutral first name. I suspect they thought she was a man. Okay? Why does this matter? Well, it matters because it's bad enough that women quite often aren't taken as seriously as men, which is what my book is about. But it's even worse if we're not even being listened to in the first place. Now, let's look at Twitter, which a lot of people use for authoritative views on the world. Now, a big, not always authoritative, but nonetheless. So in the UK, a big data company ran a survey of who were the most influential political journalists during our last general election campaign. So those political journalists who were most retweeted and most commented on. Now, given that our most powerful political journalist, the BBC's political editor, is a woman, how many do you reckon made it into the top 10? Big fat zero. And the reason was that men were 4 to 5 times more likely to retweet or comment on a tweet by a male political journalist than by a female one. Now, there's also a study in the Harvard Business Review which showed that more generally across Twitter, men are twice as likely to retweet other men and also twice as likely to follow other men, in other words, to listen to what they're saying. Now, in real life, of course, this happens too, and I'm sure that most of the women in this audience have had the experience of making a suggestion at a meeting, having it completely ignored, and then a man makes the same suggestion, and he is applauded, right? Yeah. And of course, we are interrupted much more often than men, usually by men. We actually call it man-interrupting. Even in the US Supreme Court, where women make up 1/3 of all justices, but they suffer 2/3 of all interruptions. Okay? So however much authority you have as a woman, you're going to be taken less seriously quite often than a man. So, guys, where does this all come from? Okay, I mean, are we really less interesting than men? Do you really not want to hear what we have to say? Do you think perhaps we're less intelligent than you? Well, of course, if you look at the IQ distribution, the answer is no. And girls on the whole do better than boys at school and at university. But if you ask adult men to estimate their own IQ, they will say on average 110, which in itself is hilarious because the average ought to be 100, and women will say 104. That's a huge statistical difference. But it's perhaps not surprising because if you ask parents to estimate their children's IQ, they will on average estimate their boys at 115 and their girls at only 107. Now this is actually really odd, and I think very sad, because girls on the whole develop faster than boys, they have a bigger vocabulary than boys, they do better at school than boys, so why are their parents thinking they're less intelligent? But of course, if that's how you grow up, no wonder little boys have a higher opinion of themselves than little girls, and no wonder perhaps men have a higher opinion of themselves than women. But it's not based on fact, it's based on bias. So, what I would say is check your bias, okay? It may be unconscious, may not at all be deliberate, but it will be affecting your life. So deliberately listen to women with the same attention that you listen to men, if this is something you mind about, which I think you should. Deliberately choose to read books written by women as well as books written by men. I can give you lots of recommendations if you like. And look at who you follow on Twitter. They're very good online tools to tell you. And it may be you're in a very male-dominated field, in which case it's not going to be 50-50, but at least seek out the most interesting women in your field, follow them, and then retweet them, because that, after all, is the currency of Twitter. You'll find it opens your mind, and you'll get out of this male echo chamber. It will also improve your relationships, because frankly, we women can tell within about 2 minutes of meeting a guy for the first time whether he's the sort of man who is genuinely listening to what we're saying and is treating us with equal respect. And frankly, if he's not, if he's patronising, if he's glazing over, we don't want anything to do with him. Why do we want to be a colleague, or to date a man like that, or to be a friend of his? So I'm going to stop with an anecdote, which is a friend of mine's son came back from college after his first semester, and he said, "Dad, I've discovered the secret of pulling girls." So his dad said, "What, Tom, that's brilliant. Tell me, what is it?" He said, "Well, it's really easy, really. You just have to listen to what they say."